Good evening, Capricorn. Welcome to my channel. My name is Catherine. I'm doing the yearly Capricorn reading for you guys. These are usually pretty long, right? About an hour. I just want to let you know, you probably have seen already by the timing on the video. It's up to you if you are up to it. I know that people don't always have an hour to dedicate for a reading. That's why I'm mentioning this. So thank you for being here anyway, just even if you only stay for a few minutes. I'm going to draw out of this particular deck it's only upright cards. It's a 12 card spread, so one card per month. And then I'll be clarifying with a different tarot deck, one card on each month as well. But both cards, it'll have both upright and reversed cards. I'm going to shuffle a little bit here in silence just to focus on your energy, Capricorn. I'm ready to cut. Okay. January is the Hierophant. I will eventually show you the cards as we go, right? So let me just name them here. Death card for February. March is the Two of Wands. April is the Knight of Pentacles. May is the Queen of Pentacles. June is the Five of Cups. July is the Lovers. August is the King of Pentacles. So we have both the Knight, the Queen, and the King here. Interesting. September is the Six of Swords. October is the Knight of Wands, so two Knights. November is a Ten of Cups, how beautiful. And the Ace of Swords for December. So let's get the clarifiers right away. So far, I guess June is the only month that sort of points to something maybe less pleasant. Maybe February as well. Could be a little bit of waiting here on March. Death in reverse, Ace of Pentacles in reverse, Ace of Swords. The Six of Pentacles in reverse, the Knight of Swords, the Sun card, and the Six of Cups in reverse. I'm glad the Sun came out on the Five of Cups because for June, it comes in at the right place to make June easier on you. I will finish pulling the cards. I'll quickly explain afterward how I plan to read this, just to give you an idea. But I prefer to stay quiet while I pull, so let me just shut up. Ten of Cups in reverse, Four of Swords, Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands twice here, clarifying each other. Three of Swords on the Ten of Cups. How strange. And then you get two cards for the end. I'm going to keep them. The Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles on the Ace of Swords here. Okay. I'm choosing to have the two clarifiers that popped out for you and keep them right on the month of December. Okay, quickly how I work. Of course, we look month per month, but to be honest, sometimes there's one specific theme that eventually arises or distinguishes itself from the whole lot, and the whole year becomes a full story, quote unquote. So it won't be segregated by a month. It won't be like very compartmentalized. I can never say that word. I don't want to make compartments, right? And the other thing is, I'm going to go with the main theme. I'm not going to try and do love, then career, then health, then, you know what I mean? So this is, well, anyway, let's do it. I think I've said enough. You got the point. Okay, so just to refresh your memory, I'm going to show you quickly. January is the Hierophant with Death in reverse. And because we have Death, I'm going to bring in right away February because we have Death again, this time upright, of course, with the Ace of Wands in reverse. Might as well show you Two of Wands with the Ace of Swords for March. So you see you have two aces like this, and you have a 2 here. You have twice the Death card. So there's sort of, visually at least, there's some, there's something going on visually for me with these particular cards I've just shown you. I feel January to be quite a month. It's the only month that has two major arcanas here. What's incredible is that this energy is so, I want to say static, and it's also incredibly, what's the right word for this? You know, when you can't move anything, like something that doesn't move, it just doesn't, like mountains, right? Like you can't move mountains. This is like a mountain you can't move. There's something that is extremely anchored, set, static, very solid. But it comes with a refusal, a little bit of denial, some kind of refusal to see something that is obvious. And yet February is the flip side, and I just did Aries yesterday, and they had the same between January and February was a flip energy, or I think it was February, March maybe for them, but it's interesting that it comes in the first quarter of the year. I might think, I'm tempted to, for having done the yearlies last year, I know that there's repeating themes, obviously. And it sometimes goes with the astrology, of course. Anyway, there's a flip side here. So as much as something was static, it's too bad the ace is not upright, because that would be like a very strong, active push forward. So obviously now you start moving, you start transforming, but it's still a little slow because the ace is in reverse. And then here, there's more waiting, but there's maybe the decision here is finally made. it feels like one month is contingent on the other, right? A little bit. Like they all sort of they build one another, these three, definitely. Which is kind of would be the case for how I'm reading about bleeding the whole thing as one long year, one long story for you. But particularly these 3 months right now are really intertwined, you know, like this moves into this, the ace moves into the other ace, and because it's two aces, it's the two of wands, everything is very much rolled into one, right? Or it just really works. Not that it works out for you here specifically, and don't mind me if I say that, Capricorn, but it might have to do with, you know, maybe that you're very slow to make a decision. You want to be sure. You're having a hard time letting go of something because you had such a high ideals for it. You know, you also had a lot of faith for it. I know it's not the star card, but it's still a card of faith on the Hierophant. But it's funny, it's like having faith in something that you know is kind of dying, you're just refusing to let it go fully. And then when you really want to let it go, something kind of hinders you or just slows you down in terms of a new start and really fully moving on. So it's like, it's a funny thing because it's almost like the Ace of Wands is acting like the death in reverse here. It's funny. It's slowing down this transformation in February. And then in March, it's like everything's very clear, but there's more waiting for you in terms of actualizing what you really have in mind. For now, it's not very clear what this is, right? It could be anything in terms of any sphere of your life. But I feel it's major to what you want to accomplish during the year. So let's look further quickly and then we might come back. But this is not really telling me fully what it is. So we're going to go and investigate. April is the Knight of Wands with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. It's still slow energy. This is moving, which is great, it has started moving here. It's actually, here everything's clear, but there's a lot of waiting. Movement starts to happen slowly though, very slowly. Maybe due to a lack of resources. I think it's also a lack of partnership in this case. There's a lack of collaboration. I use the words collaboration on purpose, even though it's the Six of Pentacles. There's a lot of solitary energy at the beginning of the year. You know, the aces are always just one person. The Two of Wands is not really anyone. So it's all of your ideas and your dreams and your visions and your goals. So everything's very singular for me here. So you're pretty much on your own and you're pretty much working at something that matters to you specifically. And when we come to April, you're still alone. And the reason is because you're not collaborating, because we finally see other people, quote unquote, on this card. So these people are around you, which wasn't the case so much here. but there's not necessarily interaction. There's not even direct contact. But then May is like, what a swift change. Look at this guy. This something is like, I don't know, it's like some, you know, when you say, if you got stung and like you start running, you know, like if you get stung by a bee, you're gonna start running. It hurts, right? You're worried about the whole, how do you call it? The whole, it's not a, I guess it's a nest. I'm not sure. There's another word, I'm sure. We do have a specific word in French, but anyway, something really got you going. Like you got stung and you suddenly like take off. So I don't know what you're rushing towards. It feels like you're rushing towards this particular person. Or, interesting, I'm going to show you what I'm seeing. This particular person, not gender specific, is the one rushing in towards you here. You're the slow one. You're the one with your back turned. You're the one that's like not really interested in give and take at the moment. You're not really interested in spending yourself towards others. And by that, I don't mean necessarily financially. Actually, I really mean energy-wise, time-wise, attention-wise, affection-wise, emotionally, you know, any other, I don't know, even just even in thought. It's really strange. I'm not sure why I'm getting that, because these are not swords, but not to say that you're not thinking of anybody, but I feel your focus is somewhere else, and for some reason the night is all focused on this here. There's something really, really big, and it's still eluding us for the moment. We're gonna have to keep digging, but it is catching your attention much, much more, and then someone is actually trying to get your attention here, coming in swiftly, very swiftly. By that I mean it could be like they fly in, right? And just to say that they could be there the next day instead of taking, you know, like, I don't know, X number of days to maybe drive to you, or, you know, take another mode of transportation. I'm using those examples, but it doesn't mean that the person is far from you. It's just to show you that they have a particular way of coming at you that is very, very quick. It surprises you even somehow. Here in June, I was telling you before, as we were getting the cards, you know, where you felt disappointed or where there was disappointment, maybe between the two of you, maybe for you in general. Suddenly the sun shows up. It is the summer months. For some reason, I'm seeing the sun as your heart. It feels like it's opening up to life, to maybe welcoming the people that you weren't ready to welcome prior. I think you held grudges with the Five of Cups. Those are being kind of, I want to say melted away. I mean, it's not ice, but it feels like it's being melted away by the sun, right? Because you're being warmed up, you're being heated up, you're being caressed by the sun. So it feels like you're, whatever was in the way is melting. I feel that your heart is melting as well, right? Like suddenly someone manages to access the full you. This is the full you. I don't know how they do it because they really, you're still very, you're very stubborn, my goodness. There's a lot of pentacles, right? That's why I'm saying, and there's a lot of stubbornness here with the Hierophant. This is a Taurus card as well, Capricorn. So all of that is making me say that it's really stubbornness, being convinced that you're right, not wanting to change your mind. Also, a little bit of pride attached to that. Hence, why you couldn't let go. You had this particular hiccup, chip on your shoulder a little bit. I don't think it's necessarily towards one person. It could be a little bit your relationship to events and like maybe society at large, and it could go all the way there, right? For bigger, I guess a bigger scope, or like a bigger, including more than just, you and your little belly button, and you know what I mean? Like it could be that you are actually very, almost like a philosopher here with the Hierophants. So you think deeply about various subjects that really are beyond you, that are bigger than yourself. And I think sometimes you feel like you don't necessarily function that, I mean, you do function in society, of course, but maybe there are things that if we were to question you deeply, we'd see that there are things that you wish were different. Don't we all? But I mean, maybe there are particular preoccupations that you have that people don't suspect. I'll give you an example. This doesn't have to be what you're thinking, but you might wish for more peace in the world. You might wish for, less, a better, I want to say, sharing of resources across the globe. Things of that nature. I mean, it's just one possibility. Maybe not all of you will be thinking this way, but some of your stubbornness and some of your disappointment is not just related to one person. It could be regarding these broader questions, or some of them that I'm not necessarily naming here, enumerating. Let's look at July. You see, someone has really melted your heart. You have the Lovers with the Six of Cups in reverse. Okay, you do have the Six of Cups is in reverse, but it's still someone that's familiar to you. It's someone with whom you have shared memories with. It could mean that you're thinking back, at the disappointments. Maybe it's interesting that there's a lot of a lot of positive energy in terms of, I feel this particular person, right? Okay, let me describe them a little bit for you. This person is hasty in the sense that they're active, they're outgoing, extroverted. They also can make decisions quickly because they are quick in terms of assessing a situation, knowing what they want. They have this kind of personality where it's clear cut for them. They're practical, pragmatic as well, so that supports well their decision making. They usually have obtained results when they apply their quick judgment. They could also sometimes be wrong and go too fast, of course, but for some reason they're more often successful than not when they act this way. So it all depends on the context, it all depends on many variables here, but in general, this person operates in this way, right? I feel this person is interested in, well, I'm not going to shy away from what I'm really thinking. I think they enjoy what the freedom that money brings them, literally. They want to be able to take that, although I said they could be taking a plane to see you and whatever, let me just use that example again to say they wish they could just, have enough money to hop on a plane and not bother with, the cost for for the cost in order to be doing whatever they had their minds set on. You know what I mean? Like, the kind of person that would, if they could, jet set to Paris for the weekend just to go buy some clothing. That kind of person, but not necessarily, this is just an example. But they do enjoy the freedom that money brings. They are also focused on accumulating wealth in general, that's for sure, not just spending it. But they would be quick to spend, I can tell you that. Very quick to spend. So depending how they really manage it with this Queen of Pentacles, you could have someone that manages well, because they also earn quickly. But they have this thing where they might work in short bursts. So work, make a lot of money, spend quickly, have to work again, that kind of cycle. But at the same time, we all have the ebbs and flow when it comes to money, right? So not to say that it's a generality, but somehow it is. In this particular case, for this particular person, it's very pronounced. So that's the difference here. So let's go back to this person that you kind of know, that you probably have had your fair share of disappointments here. And so you do, again, have the grudges, or you have the bad, some of the bad experiences on your mind, or lesser, not that there would be bad experiences, but maybe you're thinking of things that you wish could have gone differently. What I like is that this is double six, right? 66. There's a beautiful harmonious energy here because of the number 6 being repeated twice. So this person is a homebody. They enjoy staying at home. It's also seen on the Queen of Pentacles. So they like having a beautiful home, but they like to live in their home. They like to have people come over instead of them going out. That kind of energy. So maybe there's time spent at home, but there's definitely intimate moments between the two of you. And I feel it's the melting the heart away moments that I was hinting on already here, but this is really felt more in July, but it's basically the summer months. It's when, the person is really becoming manifest and in your face in May, I want to say. Then in August, the King of Pentacles with the Ten of Cups in reverse. So it's a little strange. I mean, both July and August, I mean, you have a beautiful positive cards, especially, okay, the King of Pentacles resonates with the Queen of Pentacles, right? Obviously, this is a couple. And we kind of saw you here a little bit already, but in this energy of the night, you were moving very slowly and you're so focused on what's going on here, then it's very different. But we will go back to it because this is still you here. What I was pointing at about, so strong energies here of potential, like ultimate, I want to say bliss, you know, being coupled, living together, being happy. It's just that the two clarifiers are in reverse, right? So it's not as rosy or bright or joyous as it could. Not that it's not, but it's not the top experience here. I'm not too sure why. Another question mark. I have one still here a little bit and I have another one here. But let's move on again. Sometimes when I finish reading, then I get more, you know, it's like having suddenly more hindsight and then I'm able to see differently the whole reading. September, you move and you move and you don't move. So which one is it? Capricorn, what's going on? How could you be in two energies? How could you be, you can't be at two places at once. You can't be at home and you can't be out on the go. So I'm going to say something here. I wonder if one person, namely this one, the one that moves really quickly, that's always on the go, is on the go, leaves, maybe is going in and out, because we do have the two Knights of Wands, you know, like how much in and out can this, well, it's not just the in and out, it's like this person is like more than an adventurer. This is like the epitome of an adventurer, right? This is someone that's traveling the world. I want to say physically, I really sense that because there's so much of that movement present. You know, we don't have the chariot, but it's it's almost that energy. So anyways, my theory is that one of you is out and the other one stays home. That's how I'm reading this. Because it cannot be you being at two places at once. At once. So maybe this is the question mark that I had about why are these beautiful cards in reverse, right? Why is the home life? Why is the experience of love, of being coupled, partnered, married maybe? What's going on? Why is there that little cloud that comes in? And it's the separation here, you know, and it's only temporary separation, of course. This is what I'm sensing strongly. But it's still there. So maybe these two Knights are also both of you, or each one of you, I should say, which now also tells me that there's a lot of passion between the two of you, but there's also a little bit of butting heads, if you want, in the sense that you're so much alike. You're very passionate people. So it's a mix of things here. It's like being absolutely so like twins, like these two, right? This is twin. And then if you really want to put in like, this is twin energy as well. the two death cards. There's a lot of Scorpio energy. Maybe you have both you and this person Scorpio placements. You see what I mean? But let's say that this is both your energies, right? It's like beautifully similar, and at the same time, when it's too much alike, sometimes it creates friction, right? So the same kind of passion also it ignites. So it ignites passion and creates friction. And here we've already established this person was very kind of hasty, right? So I think not just their decision making, maybe their reactions are very hasty. So they would be the kind of temperament that really just a little bit sort of blows up. Not a big blow up, but you can tell that they could have words, right? So maybe there's a little bit of this going on. It might be related to the experience of being separate and one being alone at home while the other one is out and about. Because, I'm sorry, because we do see the Three of Swords coming up on the Ten of Cups, right? We had the Ten of Cups prior before as well. So there is disappointment. So I'm using the same word than on the Five of Cups. I'm trying to attenuate the Three of Swords here purposely for you, not to be, okay, I'm not doing that just to sugarcoat what I'm saying, but I am being diplomatic about it so that you understand that in life, if you do argue, if that's sometimes arguments, because this could also be like crazy passion in bed, right? But if there are some arguments, it's a little bit like this. I was saying there's a little cloud energy here on the happiness that I'm sensing here. There's always a little cloud. Well, maybe it's the same energy here. It's just a little cloud. So maybe there's a little more clouds on this particular month in November than just one little one. You know what I mean? But there is the feeling that it's a little bit difficult. Like I'm having the word, I'm hearing pulling, like something that pulls at you. So what this feels for me is like a tug of war. So both people are pulling, you know, they're trying to get the other one to, so they're pulling on the other one to get them to see their point of view. You know, a little bit of that. There's also pulling in the sense of, I don't know, for some reason there's like a push-pull energy as well. And the other energy, the reason it's push-pull is because it's like, it's happy and then it's a little bit sad. It's a little bit sad, it's a little bit happy. I mean, look, it's happening like here in June. It's happening in November. It's happening in August, in September. July and August. So it's happening 4 times during the year. So this is something that is very, it's a pattern between the two of you, if I may, or in the relationship. And I think this pattern is probably also related to the in and out. And I feel that both of you have different realities. One is really the homebody, which is, I believe, you, Capricorn, and this other person, it doesn't have to be you. I think it is, but you can tell me otherwise, or you can identify yourself maybe in this person who's the one that's traveling all the time. And it doesn't have to be that you're going far. It just means that you're the one. Let's say, I'm going to give a stupid example that doesn't really apply necessarily, but it could be that one is someone who goes to work, earns the money. The other person is a stay-at-home person. They could work from home, but you see the realities are different. So someone is out and about, whereas someone is at home. So I think that's the dynamics really of what I'm seeing here. And it's always kind of impacting somehow the overall experience of being happy, but it's always like a little short of this experience that is like touching the heavens. You know what I mean? Because we have twice the Ten of Cups, we have the Lover's card, we have the Sun, we have the Power couple. So all of these energies are, and the two Knight of Wands I think are really passionate. So, and the two Aces, it's like, again, all the, I'm telling you, there's a lot of twin flamey, vibey going on here. Anyway, December is that Ace of Swords coming out again, right? And I mentioned, for me lately, the Ace of Swords has been taking on, and it's, I'm gonna be truthful about it. Lately, the main feeling I'm getting in other readings as well is it's a huge decision, which is the case on this card, right? I mean, it's obviously one of its meanings, but comes with, a decision always comes with this amazing clarity, and that's why there's a decision being made, because suddenly things are crystal clear. So what is this energy going on here? I mean, because we have two characters, right? The Emperor and the Queen of Pentacles. So this is this person here again, right? The Queen of Pentacles. So this would be you in this case, the earthy elements, because it's Aries, but it could also be a bit of Taurus on the Emperor. And the Emperor kind of is a little bit like the Hierophant up there. I mean, you know where I'm going. I'm just basically attributing. You could reverse the roles, because obviously the Queen of Pentacles is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. It's Earth. But in this case, because I've established that there's a different person, and I really think this is the other person in this read, they come back up here, and this would be you. Anyway, long story short, that was a... I guess I feel like I'm over explaining. It's just I want to be clear on the possibilities, but I also feel I'm right by attributing you on the Emperor. But I can't be the last judge of that. You're the one, right, to know how it fits for you. So this Ace of Swords, what does it really mean? What is this big decision? I mean, the two are in reverse. I'm not sure what you're deciding between the two of you. I just feel that because the two clarifiers are in reverse, we do have the Three of Swords. We have a little bit of the difference of opinion. We have the difference in the two realities of one is out, the other one is home, and maybe you miss each other greatly. There's a often, you know, feeling sad. Sadness is there twice. A little bit of, I mentioned it, holding a grudge, having some memories that are not always positive. And the impression that sometimes, you know, the happy home could be a happier place. I don't want to really pronounce myself on what that decision is, okay? Obviously, I'm sure you're smart enough to sense that I'm hinting at something like a separation, or at least a break, or a big talk. There's gonna have a big sit down here. There's gonna have to have a big conversation, right? But I can't pronounce myself on what that is because I don't know. I don't know the future. I can only show you the energies. So I want to go back on this here because the Ace of Swords belongs also from, the energies of the spring that I feel that you were so focused on, and that you had such a hard time processing because things were contingent, and basically wrapped or intertwined is better said. It's almost like changing your mind. It's like something is dead, something is not dead, something is dead. Something doesn't start, something starts, but not yet. And then you could even see the Two of Wands as, yes, you're waiting on something, but you're also hesitating. Although I did say that there's a moment where you have clarity and you do decide, but you decide because there was indecision before, right? So there's something, there's a link here. I'm gonna say something, I'm not sure. It's only like one possibility, but it's like it could be so many things. I can't even think them all up, right? I can't think of all of the possibilities. It's impossible, but because there's the home life and like really like the idea that you are partnered, living together with the Ten of Cups. The fact that we did say that you weren't always in the same space at once, and it was creating conflict, or at least disappointment and a little bit of resentment between the two of you. I feel that there was hesitation about even living together, partnering up with one another. This was greatly considered here. And this is what maybe I was pointing out without even knowing before we got to the end of all, because I wasn't really looking at the other cards yet, is that, remember how I told you you're kind of solitary here, and then you're really not even thinking of anyone, or you're really not wanting to collaborate, and that you purposely had your back turned, you were focused, I guess, on basically thinking about it more than really interacting with this person. It's almost like this person has to really come and, like, remember I said this person feels like they got stung by a bee and then they came flying in, or they came in really, really fast. But it's also, they're like coming in here like to kind of wake you up, or really poke you, basically, like, hey, wake up, or hey, I'm here, or kind like a little bit to distract you, or to get your attention, to I think to get you moving, because you're so slow. Here there's no movement. There's literally no movement for 2 months. Then here there's movement, but only in the mind, and it's still not real, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, not really felt. And then here it's moving so slowly, but it's yet not fully the energy flow is not between two, and this person is really wanting to accelerate, like they're really wanting to, they're pushing you basically. And maybe that's another thing where you might have felt rushed into something, or a little bit forced into something, or a little bit influenced by this person, who's very convincing, by the way, because they're good with words, or at least not just with words, but like, because they're so action oriented, and they want things to go fast, kind of. So for someone like you, if you're taking time to decide, remember how I was describing this person and I said they're accustomed to, being very pragmatic, and they're comfortable using those, seeing that they've had results in the past of operating quickly, by making decisions in the spur of the moment and just living with the consequences and always fixing things if they have to. So it's a beautiful, it works because they make it work. But for someone else, maybe like for you, this is very uncomfortable. Maybe this is a way of operating that is uncomfortable and foreign to you, right? Versus, and maybe in the long run, when you look back, or when you talk about it here in December and you look back, maybe it's part of the equation in terms of what is actually being lived out in the summer months, starting, I want to say starting May, but mainly June, July, etc. And really the fall and the winters, like October, November, December, is when I want to say you see the signs here. You are living quite happy. It's not a bad energy at all. On the contrary, there's a lot of beautiful things happening here, like these 4 months. But there are more exchanges and maybe a little bit more disagreements showing up, and mainly in November. And then there's a sit down in December. I have to say one last thing about stubbornness. I think both of you are going to be stubborn. I'm going to say it honestly, because I'm seeing it. This conversation will be much more positive if you allow more flexibility, because I see so much stubbornness on both parts here that I don't know if it's going to help resolve anything if you stay stubborn, both of you. You know what I mean? If you try to stay both in your positions and not yield a little bit towards one another, then the idea is to talk it out here. So, and it's not about winning or losing, it's just communicating and agreeing on something, or exchanging, really opening up to the things that you feel need to be worked out, and that you wish could be improved in terms of living together, and really relating, and not just always like being like super fiery with one another, and just like, oh, it's all hot, 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 and then it's like, it's like the friction instead, like having maybe a more consistent fire burning between the two of you, instead of something extremely bright and then something well, I mean, it would still be bright because when there's friction, somehow it's like there's still a lot of heat because friction creates heat, but it's not the kind of heat that you want. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's interesting. It turned out to be like a huge love reading because the relationship is here on the table. I mean, it's like there's a lot of love cards. And if, I mean, there could have been like Four of Wands, there could have been, but I mean, we do have commitment energy, we have the Lovers, we have twice the Ten of Cups, we have the Sun, we have the Power couple, and like I said, there's a lot of resonance in terms of being twin flames, if you believe in that, or if you, even if you don't fully believe in that, you know, just you understand that there's a bond here, there's a very strong connection because there's something and just the fact that these two are so similar. Anyway, I'm repeating myself at this point. So I wish you a great 2023. Thank you for listening to the video in its entirety. That means the world to me, really. Please like, share, subscribe, of course, but mostly come back on the next video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.